There are three specific words Florence Shinn taught her clients to whisper in any moment of chance, before any deal, before any unexpected opportunity, before any situation where the outcome felt uncertain. And tonight, you are going to learn the exact three words, the precise reason each one matters, and how to use them not just for a single moment, but as a way of moving through your entire life. So let us start with the premise, as stated in Isaiah 45:11. Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel and his Maker, ask me of things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands, command ye me. This is one of the most extraordinary passages in Scripture, and Florence Shinn quoted it herself in her writings because she understood what it actually meant. The Creator is instructing us to command, not to beg, not to plead, not to wait in hope, command. The work of His hands belongs to His children, and we are given the authority to claim what is ours by divine right. This is the foundation of everything Florence Shinn taught about the spoken word as law, and the three words we are going to discuss tonight are designed to instantly place you in the commanding consciousness that this verse describes. This is what I would like to discuss with you today. Now, before we go any further, I want to stop here, because what I am about to share works most powerfully when you are already standing in the right consciousness to receive it. So I need you to say this out loud right now with me. Even just a whisper is enough. Say, it is mine. It is mine. It is mine. Say it one more time and feel it this time. It is mine. It is mine. It is mine. Good. Hold that. Notice the quiet certainty in your body when you say it. That is the consciousness Florence Shinn was trying to teach. The consciousness of already having. Not hoping, not waiting, not begging, having. And one quick thing before we go further. If those words landed for you, drop them in the comments below right now. Just write, it is mine. So I know you are claiming it with me tonight. And subscribe to this channel right now so the next Florence Shinn teaching finds you exactly when your consciousness is ready to receive it. And then we go deeper. And one more thing before I begin. Stay with me all the way to the end of this video, because there is one final instruction Florence Shinn gave only to her most serious students. A closing transmission I want to give to you tonight that completes the work of these three words and seals them into your consciousness. But only if you are still here at the end with me. So let me start here with what these three words actually do. When you speak, it is mine, in any situation, you are placing a very specific instruction in the subconscious mind. You are declaring that what is in front of you, whatever it is, belongs to you. You are claiming it from the position of already owning it, not hoping it might come to you, not pleading for it to be granted, claiming it as already yours. And the subconscious mind takes that declaration as truth and begins reorganizing your inner state to match. Your nervous system relaxes, your breathing changes, your energy shifts from contracted to expanded, from grasping to receiving. And from that receiving state, the channels through which the law operates begin to open. This is why Florence Shinn used these three words in so many of her teachings, because they work in any situation. You do not need a different declaration for every circumstance. You have one simple, universal claim that fits every moment in which you are entering a space of possibility. The second piece is what each word actually carries. And I want to slow down here because each one is doing something different in the consciousness. The first word is it. This seems small, but it is doing important work. It means you are not getting tangled in the specifics of what you are claiming. You are not predefining the form the supply must take. You are simply pointing at the situation in front of you and saying, this thing here, whatever it ends up being. The openness of the word it allows the law to deliver in whatever form is most aligned for you. Sometimes the form will be exactly what you expected. Sometimes it will be something better than you expected. Sometimes the situation in front of you will turn out not to be the right channel, and the actual supply will arrive through a completely different door. The word "it" stays neutral enough that the law has room to surprise you. The second word is, present tense, declarative, settled. This word does not say, "it will be mine." That would place the claiming in the future, in the realm of someday. The word "is" says, this is happening now, in this moment, in present reality. Claiming is not deferred, it is happening as you speak, and this present tense framing is what activates the subconscious to organize around the declaration immediately, rather than placing it in some future inbox to be processed later. The third word is mine, and this is where most people experience the deepest resistance. Mine carries the full weight of ownership, of belonging, of possession in the most spiritual sense. When you say mine, you are not saying I want it. You are not saying I deserve it. You are saying it already belongs to me. This is where the flinch happens for many people. The conditioned part of your mind says, who are you to claim this? What makes you think it is yours? You have not earned it. You do not deserve it. And the flinch is exactly what tells you the word is doing the work. The resistance is the gap between your conditioned self-image and the spiritual truth that what serves your highest good is yours by divine right. You say mine through the flinch. You say it again. You say it until the flinch quiets and the word starts to feel true. And that quieting is the moment the consciousness shifts and the law begins to respond. The third piece is when to actually use these three words. And I want to be very practical here because this is the application that changes lives. You use them in any moment of possibility. Before walking into an interview, you whisper, "It is mine." Before opening a piece of mail you are nervous about, you whisper, "It is mine." Before answering a phone call that could change something, you whisper, "It is mine." Before any conversation in which there is something you would like the outcome to favor, you whisper, "It is mine." Before any moment of chance, of unknown outcome, of waiting to see what will happen, you whisper, "It is mine." The words are doing two things in those moments. First, they are shifting your inner state so that you are entering the moment from a state of receiving rather than grasping. And second, they are placing a clear declaration in the law that this thing in front of you belongs to you. Both of those operations matter, and both of them produce different outcomes than entering the same moment from anxiety, from fear, from the energy of needing something to go well. The energy you bring into a moment determines what becomes possible in that moment. And the three words are the fastest way to shift the energy you are bringing. And there is something specific I want to address about moments of chance, because this is where many people get this teaching wrong. The three words are not a magic trick that guarantees a specific outcome. The words shift your consciousness, and from the shifted consciousness, the law operates more freely. But the law still operates through what serves your highest good. Sometimes that means the outcome you wanted. Sometimes that means a different outcome that turns out to be better than what you wanted. The words do not control the universe. The words align you with the universe. And that alignment is what produces the most beneficial possible result, not necessarily the result you predetermined was the right one. This distinction matters because if you use these words trying to force a specific outcome, you are still in the consciousness of grasping, of trying to bend reality to your will, and the law does not respond well to that energy. But if you use these words to align yourself with what serves you, knowing that what is truly yours by divine right cannot be kept from you, then you are using them correctly, and the law produces accordingly. The fourth piece is the daily integration, because using these words only in big moments will produce limited results. The deeper transformation happens when these three words become a constant background frequency in your consciousness throughout your day. Every time you see something beautiful, you whisper, "It is mine." Every time you encounter an opportunity, you whisper, "It is mine." Every time you witness someone living the way you would like to live, you whisper, "It is mine." You are not being greedy, you are not trying to take from others. You are training your consciousness to live in the state of receiving, of belonging, of being someone for whom good things naturally arrive. This constant background practice over weeks and months produces a fundamental shift in your default consciousness. You stop being someone who watches good things happen to other people and starts being someone for whom good things happen as a natural occurrence. The consciousness changes first, then the outer experience follows. This is the law operating as Florence Shinn taught it, and the daily integration is what allows the law to operate in your life at full strength rather than just in isolated moments. The fifth piece is what happens when you say the words and nothing visibly changes. Because this will happen. You will speak "it is mine" before a moment, and the moment will pass, and the outcome will not be what you hoped for. And you will conclude that the practice did not work. But this conclusion is incorrect, and here is why. The law operates on its own timing, not on the timing you predetermined. Sometimes the words you spoke today produce an outcome 3 weeks from now in a situation completely unrelated to where you originally focused them. Sometimes the immediate outcome looks like a loss, but later turns out to have redirected you towards something far better. Sometimes the consciousness shift you produced by speaking the words protected you from an outcome you thought you wanted, but that would not have actually served you. You cannot evaluate the practice on the basis of individual moments. You can only evaluate it on the basis of the trajectory of your life over time. And over time, with consistent use, these three words produce a life that bends toward your good in ways that would not have been possible without them. The practice requires faith, and faith means continuing to speak even when individual moments do not produce what you expected, because you trust that the cumulative effect is working at a level deeper than what you can observe in the short term. The sixth piece is the structure I want you to use, the daily protocol for these three words. Every morning when you wake up, before your phone, before anything else, you speak these three words 3 times. Say, "It is mine, it is mine, it is mine." Say each round with conviction, like you are claiming everything that belongs to you for the day to come. Throughout the day, in any moment of possibility, you speak the 3 words to yourself. Whisper them if you cannot say them out loud. Even silent in your mind, they still place the instruction in your subconscious. Every night before sleep, you speak the 3 words one final time, letting them be the last claim your conscious mind makes before drifting off. Your subconscious then works on integrating that declaration for the entire night. On the first day, this practice may feel strange. By the 3rd day, the words begin to feel slightly more natural. By the 7th day, you are catching opportunities to use them throughout your day without thinking. By the 14th day, the consciousness of receiving is becoming your default state. By the 30th day, something has fundamentally shifted in how you move through the world. You no longer enter moments of possibility from the consciousness of grasping or fearing. You enter them from the consciousness of already having. And the law responds to that consciousness in ways the previous version of you could not have produced. There is something specific about the connection between these 3 words and Florence Shinn's broader teaching on divine right that I want to unpack. Because once you understand the connection, the words become exponentially more powerful. Florence Shinn taught that every person has a divine inheritance, meaning there are things in this world that have your name on them in the invisible realm. Opportunities calibrated to your gifts, supply designed for your needs, situations that match your soul's trajectory. And these things are yours by divine right. Not by earning them, not by deserving them in the conventional sense, but simply because they were assigned to you in the architecture of your life. When you speak, "It is mine," you are claiming your divine inheritance. You are saying, "I accept what was always meant for me. I receive what was always assigned to me. I open myself to what was always reserved for me." This is not greed. This is not entitlement. This is alignment with the spiritual order in which your life was designed. And the resistance many people feel to claiming their divine right is precisely what blocks the inheritance from arriving. The universe cannot give you what you do not claim. The channels cannot open to a consciousness that does not believe it deserves to receive. The three words solve this problem at the root because they bypass the question of deserving entirely. They simply state the spiritual fact: this belongs to me. No justification required, no qualification needed, just claim. And the claim itself dissolves the resistance over time as you continue to speak it. Let me give you some specific applications of these three words in different life situations, because the abstract instruction can be difficult to translate into daily practice. When it comes to financial situations, before you check your bank account in the morning, before you open a bill, before you have a conversation about money with anyone, before you make a financial decision, you speak, "It is mine." This declaration shifts your inner state from contracted scarcity into expansive abundance. And from that expanded state, your decisions tend to be wiser, your conversations tend to flow better, and the financial reality you encounter tends to be less harsh than what your fear was preparing for. When it comes to professional situations, before you walk into a meeting, before you send an important email, before you have a conversation with a difficult colleague or boss, before any moment in your work where the outcome feels uncertain, you speak, "It is mine." And notice how the energy you bring into the situation changes. The people you are interacting with often respond to that energy without consciously realizing they are responding to anything different. The situation tends to unfold more in your favor because you've brought a consciousness that allowed favor to flow. When it comes to relationships and social situations, before any conversation in which you are nervous about how you will come across, before any meeting with someone new where you hope a connection might develop, before any difficult conversation with someone you love, you speak, "It is mine." The words shift you out of the anxiety of trying to make something happen and into the receiving state of allowing the situation to unfold in its highest form. The people in front of you sense the difference and respond accordingly. When it comes to moments of pure chance, before any lottery ticket, any unexpected opportunity, any situation where the outcome is genuinely outside your control, you speak, "It is mine." And here you have to be especially careful to use the words correctly. You are not trying to force a specific outcome. You are aligning yourself with whatever outcome would serve your highest good. Sometimes that outcome is what you hoped for. Sometimes it is something completely different, but ultimately better. The words establish the consciousness of receiving, and from that consciousness, the law produces whatever is truly meant for you. I want to address one more layer of this practice that nobody really talks about, and it has to do with what happens when you speak these words on behalf of moments that are not just about you. When someone you love is in a difficult situation, you can speak, "It is mine," quietly in your own consciousness while thinking of them. And the consciousness you generate ripples outward through the field that connects all of us. This is not magical thinking. This is the actual interconnected nature of consciousness that mystics across every tradition have pointed to. Your inner state affects the field affects everyone in it. And when you hold the consciousness of belonging, of receiving, of divine right, while thinking of someone you love, you are contributing to the conditions that allow good to flow toward them as well. Do not underestimate this dimension of the practice. The consciousness you generate is not just shaping your own life, it is contributing to the larger field in which everyone around you is operating. Here is the whole picture. You have spent most of your life entering moments of possibility from a state of contraction, of hoping things will go well, of fearing things will go badly, of bracing for outcomes you cannot control. And the law has been responding to that consciousness exactly as designed, producing outcomes that match the energy you brought. Anxious energy produced uncertain outcomes. Grasping energy produced just out of reach outcomes. Fearful energy produced disappointing outcomes. None of this is random. All of it is the precise output of the consciousness you have been bringing to your life. But here is what makes everything different. You can change the consciousness you bring starting in this very moment. The 3 words are a tool that instantly shifts your inner state. And from the shifted state, the law begins producing different outcomes. Slowly at first, then with increasing consistency, until you realize that life has begun bending toward your good in ways it never used to. This is what Florence Shinn taught 100 years ago, and it is more relevant now than it has ever been. Because we live in a culture that constantly puts people into states of anxiety and grasping, especially around money and around moments of chance. You cannot afford to enter these moments the way the culture trains you to enter them. You have to enter them deliberately, consciously, from a place of already having. And the 3 words are the fastest tool ever developed for making that shift. Before we close, I want to address something honest. When you are in difficult circumstances and you say, "It is mine," before a moment that matters to, it can feel like you are pretending. Your situation contradicts the claim. Your history contradicts the claim. Your fears contradict the claim. But you have to understand something about consciousness work. The claim is not describing your current circumstances. The claim is establishing your relationship to the moment in front of you. And the relationship comes before the outcome, always. The consciousness of already having must be established first in your inner world before it can manifest as a different outer experience. You do not need to feel completely confident to speak the 3 words. You do not need perfect faith. You just need to speak them. Even imperfectly, even with the flinch still present, and trust that the speaking itself is doing the work. And now, before I give you the final transmission I promised at the start of this video, I want you to do something with me. Close your eyes if you are in a place where you can, and if you are driving or doing something that needs your attention, just stay with my voice instead. I want you to imagine yourself 30 days from now. You have been speaking these 3 words every morning, throughout your day, every night before sleep. And you wake up on the 31st morning and you walk through your home and something feels different. You cannot quite name it yet, but the heaviness you used to carry is gone. The contracted state you used to live in has softened. You open your phone and there are messages waiting for you that did not used to come. You check your email and there are opportunities sitting there that you do not remember inviting. You walk outside and the air feels different against your skin. The people you pass make eye contact in a way they never used to. And somewhere inside you, there is a quiet recognition that something has changed. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. You are no longer the person who walks through life hoping things will go well. You are the person who walks through life knowing what is yours is already yours. You can feel it in your body, in your breath, in the way you stand, in the way you speak. The 3 words are no longer a practice you do. They are who you are now. Take a moment and let that future version of yourself come fully into your awareness. See her, see him. See the way they hold themselves. See the calm in their eyes. See the certainty in the way they move through their day. That person exists right now in the realm of consciousness, and you are walking toward them every single time you speak the 3 words. Every morning, every moment of possibility, every night before sleep. You are stepping into that version of yourself, and there is nothing standing between you and that arrival except the consistency of your speaking. Now, here is the final transmission Florence Shinn gave, only to her most serious students. She taught that once you have established the consciousness of already having, you must learn to release the words and simply rest in the having. The speaking of the 3 words is the doorway, but the consciousness those words create is the destination. And once you arrive at the destination, you no longer need to keep walking through the doorway. You simply live in the consciousness. This means that the deeper level of this practice is not just to speak the words, but to feel the truth they describe so completely that the speaking eventually becomes unnecessary. You will know you have arrived when you no longer feel a need to claim what is yours, because you have stopped doubting that it is yours. When the flinch is gone, when the resistance has dissolved, when the words feel redundant because the truth of them is already established in your bones, that is the final teaching. This is what Florence Shinn meant when she spoke of becoming the open door for the fulfillment of every good and perfect desire. You do not become the open door by working harder at the words. You become the open door by allowing the words to dissolve into the consciousness they were always pointing toward. So my blessing for you tonight is this. May the 3 words land in you tonight, not as a technique you have to remember, but as a truth you can rest in. May your morning tomorrow begin from the consciousness of already having, rather than the consciousness of needing to acquire. May every moment of possibility you encounter from this point forward find you in the state of receiving rather than grasping. May your divine inheritance arrive through the channels most aligned with your soul, and may you recognize it when it does. May you trust the timing, even when it seems slower than you would like. May you trust the form, even when it surprises you. And may you remember, on every day, that the 3 words feel difficult to speak, that you are not alone in this work. You are walking a path that has been walked by countless others before you, including Florence Shinn herself, and the same law that lifted them is operating for you right now in this very moment. So close this video when you are ready, lie down when you are ready, breathe when you are ready. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, the first words your conscious mind will form, before your phone, before your worries, before the noise of the world, will be these 3 words. It is mine. It is mine. It is mine. And from that consciousness, you begin again. And one last thing before I let you go. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end of this video. That alone tells me you are one of the serious students Florence Shinn was writing for 100 years ago. The ones who come to these teachings not for entertainment, but for actual transformation. So I honor that in you tonight. May you receive everything that is yours by divine right. May your speech tomorrow shape a reality that surprises you in the best possible ways. And I will meet you in the next video when you are ready to go deeper.